Hello, welcome to IGCSE ICT Parser Paper Discussion Channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss on the data analysis, which is in paper 3. So this is for November 2021 paper. So let's move to the task. So in this task, you'll need to prepare an evidence document in order to store the required evidence. So task 2 for the data analysis, we are going to use the spreadsheet software in order to solve this task. So in my video, I'm going to use Excel to solve this task. So you work for a company planning to recycle plastic waste washed up on a beach of many islands in the Maldives. So you will create a spreadsheet to calculate the cost of return journey from the recycling center to an island to collect this plastic waste. All the currency value must be shown in US dollar, displayed to 2 decimal places. So open and examine the files N21 island in the spreadsheet package. So that CSV file is a comma separated value file. So this file will be used to provide the data, and the data must not be copied or the file changed. So let's open the file, the island file. So always have the habit every time when you open the file, adjust the column width of your data so that it will show the data in the respective cells. So after we check through the island file, let's open and examine the file n21 course.csv, and then after that you have to place in the footer, write a line, the text course prepared by, followed by a space, your name, sender number, candidate's number, then space followed by on, followed by a space, and the today's automated date. So save the spreadsheets as with the file name n21 course, followed by your sender number, candidate's number. So let's open the file, the course file. So this is how it looks like. First thing of all, adjust the column width to ensure that all the data are in its respective cell. Then what we need to do is perform save as. I will perform save as first to ensure that our file is saved in the correct file format first. So change it to Excel workbook and then append the file name with center number followed by your candidate's number. So underscore zz 9999 underscore 999 and then 9999 as your candidate's number. Then go to insert header footer. So go to footer, click on the right hand box in order to put in the required text. So course prepared by colon. So we have course prepared by colon space, followed by your full name, sender number, candidate's number, then space followed by on. So then space, your full name. So one single space will do. So your full name, sender number, candidate's number, space, on, space, today's automated date. So we go to under header footer, go to current date. It will include the current date, the today's date. So save your work. For me, I will switch it back to the normal view. So this is how the spreadsheet should looks like. So next, insert 2 new rows above row number 1. Merge the cell A1 to C1 and then type in the text cost of plastic remover for one island. So we need to go to select the 2 rows, right click, insert. So you got a new row. Then cells A1 to C1 merge and center align. Then remember to type in the type in the text cost of plastic remover for one island. So cost of plastic remover for one island. So this is how the text should look like. So let me adjust it to side-by-side view so that easier for us to check through the question. So format the merged cell A1 to C1 to contain white 26-point text in a dark blue background. So let's change it to white color text. And then font size is 26. And then dark blue background. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So format the spreadsheet so that it looks like this. So we can see that the remover is actually in the second line in the cell. So what we can do is activate your cell, move the cursor right before the R. You can press alternate enter to make the words go to next line, or we call it text wrap. Text wrapped it. Okay, so adjust it, adjust the column width, adjust the row height, and we can observe that this text is actually center and middle aligned. So we make it center aligned and middle aligned. This text center aligned and middle aligned. So your data is actually exactly at the center of the cell. Then all the text in column A are all right aligned. So let's adjust it, select all the text and make it right aligned. Then the others maintain the same thing. So next thing, in cell B12, enter the function to look up the name of the island using the code entered in cell B11. So in cell B12, based on the code given in cell B11, which is M1, we need to return the island name. So let's have a look on our island file. Island name is in second column, whereby code is in the first column. So what we have to do is we have to use the VLOOKUP function because the data is stored vertically. So equal VLOOKUP, take the data in cell B11 as the lookup value, colon, comma, table array, which we take the data. So cell A2 to B28, comma, we are going to return column number 1 is the comparison, column number 2 is the value we're going to return. So we return column 2 and we go for exact matching. So false. Then close bracket. So it will return the island's name. Okay, the island's name will be returned. So next, let's go to the next question. In cell B13, enter a function to look up the distance of the island from the recycling plant. So the distance from the recycling plant. So let's go to the recycling plant, the distance. So the code and then return the distance. So this is column 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to return the distance which is in column number 4. So let's use the lookup function again. So VLOOKUP. Use the same code in cell B11. Then table array. This round we are selecting column. We are selecting cell A2 to D86. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Return column number 4 as the data to be returned, which is a distance, and do the exact matching, which is false option. So it will return the distance from recycling plant. Then in cell B14, enter a formula to calculate the total distance traversed to the island and back. So in cell D14, we want to calculate the total distance traveled to island and back. So this is the distance for one per trip. So we need return trip. So equal B13 multiplied 2 because two-way. So next question, question number 7. In cell B15, enter a formula to calculate the number of hours the return journey will take. This is calculated as return distance divided by operating speed times the content of cell B6. Round this time up to the nearest whole hour. So when we want the whole hour, it means that it needs to be in the integer value. No, or we say no decimal places will be needed for this question. So in cell B15, it is equals to the return distance divided by the multiplication of operating speed. So in the bracket, so multiplication of operating speed. So operating speed in cell B5 times content in cell B6. So this is how it should be. But it will return in decimal places. So we need to round up. There's an up here. So we need to use the round up function. So adjust the formula. We use the round up formula. Round up the value we get, comma, numbers of digits 0 because we want whole hour. So this is how it works. Okay, so in cell B16, enter a formula to calculate the fur used for journey. Calculate as return journey time times the consumption. So the fur use is going to be equal return journey time multiply consumption is in cell B4. So this is how it works. Then in cell B17, enter a formula to calculate the cost for the journey, the fur cost for the journey. So the cost is going to be equal the liter being used in cell B16 multiply the cost per liter. So consumption, the cost per liter is in cell B3. So B16 multiply B3. This is the function or formula we need to use in cell B17. Then in cell B18, enter a formula so that if the return journey time is less than 10, display 4. Greater than or equals to 10 hours and less than or equals to 15 hours, display 6. Okay, greater than 15, display 9. So for the ease of understanding, what we can do is you can actually utilize the line. I will use the number line for the ease of understanding. So we can use the number line, and then we have two numbers involved here. One is value 10. Another value which we can see is value 15. So when it is less than, so if you decided to start from the left-hand side, so when it is less than 10, not include, so it will display 4 will be written. But if it is less than or equal, involve 15, so less than equal 15, because here already done. So we need another one comparison for the comparison between these two, 6 and 9. So equal is included. Here is greater than 10 already. So less than equal 15, we do 6, else it will return 9. So this is how we can generate the formula for cell B18. So let's go to cell B18. We do equal if, open bracket, I start from the left hand side. So the return journey time. So return journey time in cell B15. B15 less than 10, it will display 4, else. So this one done. We need to display 6. It is greater than equals 10 and less than equal 15. So if again B15 less than equal 15, it will display 6, else value is first. It will display 9. So 9 will be written here, close bracket, close bracket. So this is how we use the nested if for this question. So next, in question number 11, in cell B19, enter a formula to calculate the cost of crew for the return journey. Each journey will have 2 members paid at rate A. Others will be paid at rate B. So you got 2 rates, which is in cell B7 and B8. So what we can do is, for the cost, we will do, first thing of all, we go for the cost of 2 members paid at the rate A. So 2 members pay at rate A. Okay, plus with the remaining numbers of crew. So we have bracket, remaining number of crew is in cell B18, total numbers of crew minus 2, because the one paid at rate A, then multiply the amount we need to pay for rate B. Okay, multiply the amount we need to pay for rate B. Then this amount is calculated, okay, for each journey. So for this journey, the cost will be the total cost. So numbers, the rate, and then we need to multiply the hours they are using, because they pay per hour, as you can see in cell C7 and C8. This is the rate per hour. So the whole thing got to multiply with the return journey time, the numbers of hours it took. So this is how we get the formula done. So next one, in cell B20, enter a formula to calculate the total cost, which include the fare, the crew, and the port tax. So in cell B20, it is equals to the cell B17 plus with the crew plus with the port tax in cell B9. So this is how we get the formula. Then last one, apply appropriate formatting to the cell contains numeric value in the spreadsheet. So we need to format it. Don't forget, at the beginning of the question it mentioned all the currency value must be in $ and 2 decimal places. So we go to the respective cell, check out. So cell B7 and B8, it's not necessary to set it to $ because they already have the dollar per hour. Whereby for the port tax, it is 100, which is about the currency. So you need to right click, format cell, go to currency, set the symbol for $, 2 decimal places. For the ease of formatting, you can actually choose format painter to select the correct cells you are using, format painter. Then format it into the cost. So cell B17, format painter again, cell B19 and B20. And yeah, one more, which is the cell B3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the 5 cells needed to be formatted as currency. Then save your spreadsheets. So remember to save your spreadsheets. Then print your spreadsheet showing formula. Ensure that it shows the rows and columns heading. Grid lines are displayed. Orientation is landscape. All the content are fully visible. So in order to print it showing formula, we go to Formula tab, Show Formula. Always remember, every time when you adjust when you switch the view, always adjust the column width. This action will ensure that all our data is displayed in the respective cell when we do the printing. Then in the questions it mentioned you need to show the rows and columns heading. So go to page layout, check the checkbox for heading print. The next thing we need is grid line is displayed. So check the checkbox print for grid line. And one more is the page orientation should be landscape. So go to layout, landscape. So you can go to print preview, cross-check, make sure it is being printed or fully visible. And your candidate's details is at the bottom. So go to print it up. So this is what we can do. This is your printout number 1. So this is how it looks like after you print it up. So this is your printout number 1. Then printout number 2 is print your spreadsheet showing values. This round, they want to fit the printout in a single portrait page. No rows and columns heading, no grid line, all the data fully visible. So switch back to the value view. Same thing, adjust the column width to ensure that all the data are fully visible. So we adjust a little bit to make sure that it is fully visible. And then go to layout, orientation, portrait. No grid line, no rows and columns heading. So this is how it looks like. So you can print it. This will be your printout number 2. So this is how your printout number 2 looks like. Okay. Then question number 16. Change the data, calculate the cost by changing the code to G5. So go to cell B11, change it to G5. When you change it, the data, the amount, the calculation will be recalculated because we changed the data. So you need to print it out. Again, in a single portrait page, rows and columns heading not displayed, all the cells are fully visible. So print out number 3. So this is how your printout number 3 looks like. So next, let's continue with question number 17. Examine and open the file n21charts.csv. So let's open the file first. So after you open the file, in cell, let's adjust the column width first. So I put it side by side, easier for us to view the question. So adjust in cell B2 to B10, must calculate the average distance from the recycling center to island for each atoll. Round to the nearest mall. So enter the formula in cell B2 that display the average distance. We want average distance for the island for the first atoll. Then replicate the formula. So the distance for the atoll, we got to get it from the island informations. So this is the atoll and this is the distance. And we have few numbers of them, right? We want the average distance. So we have to use equal average if. So average if, the range where we go for the checking. So cell C2 to C86, comma. The criteria is in cell A2, comma. Average range is the distance. So by using average if function, it means that they will take the atoll comparison. If compared with the correct criteria when it's matching, they will take the distance total up divided by the total numbers of atoll have been accumulated. So this is how it works. So this is the formula. And because in the questions it says that we need to round it to the nearest mark, so we are going to modify it using round function. So round to the nearest whole number. So 0. So this is the calculation. So now we can replicate the formula. So this is how it works. Then create and fully label an appropriate chart to display this data. So in this case, the data which we're going to the chart we're going to use is because it shows the average distance. So we need to use the column chart to draw the graph. So let's draw the column chart. This is how it looks like. And we need to fully display it. So what we can do is change the chart title. So the chart title is the average distance of islands in each atoll from the recycling centers. And all the data are fully visible. And we may need a value axis being given and also the category axis being given. So click on the chart element, chart axis title. So format it to average distance of mouse, and then axis title is the name of atoll. So we can adjust it until it is fully visible, and it is clearly visible. So you have to save it as a spreadsheet. So perform save as, save it as CSV file. So the chart in step number 17. Okay, so evidence number 1. So we need to launch a Word document. So in this evidence, what we need to do is evidence number 1. We want you to screenshot the formula used to calculate the average distance, place it in your evidence, and make sure all the formula are fully visible. So formula, show formula. Then adjust the column width. So don't forget, you got to screenshot this, which you can see clearly the formula being used. Okay. Then the next thing we need to put in is evidence number 2. Take a copy of your chart and then paste it in your evidence document. So take a chart. So copy the chart and then place it. So this is your evidence number 2. Take the chart. So this is how it should look like. And don't forget, you have to put in your candidate's details, the header of your evidence. So this is how we can solve our task 2 data analysis. I hope this video will help you. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.